Welcome to the Bruins Benders Podcast. It's Season 5, Episode 6, Jekyll and Hyde Bruins with Maddie and Smitty, brought to you on the Inside the Rink Podcast Network at InsideTheRink.com. If you are joining us on YouTube live, hit the submit, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and get your comments going in the chat. In this episode, we will discuss, is Hampus Lindholm the real MVP of the Bruins? What happens with Mason Lohrei? What do you do with him? And Pavel Zacha trade rumors. All that and more coming up on this episode of the Bruins Benders Podcast. You can follow us each on X at Benders Smitty and at Mr. Matty Barry. Send us an email. We got a video submission that we'll show later on. That's bruinsbenders@gmail.com. And here we are with a 5-7 Bruins team coming off a 5-2 win over the Islanders. And, not great. But last night's win was surprising because after that start, just thought this thing was spiraling downward in a hurry.
It looked like it was. It looked like shades of last year. It really did. After the loss, devastating loss to Ottawa, the fact that they started so poorly and then were able to dig themselves out of it, showed a little bit of resiliency. And we've seen that from this team this year. We've seen resiliency. It hasn't always ended up with wins, but they have fought back most games for the most part. Of the 12 games they've played this year, there's probably only been 2 where they really were out of it, for the majority of the game. The Ottawa game and then 4-1 in Colorado. Other than that, they've really kind of been in there or fought back to make the team at least a little uncomfortable towards the end. And we'll talk about this later in the show, but to me, it really comes down to their goaltending. When their goaltending plays well, they do okay. When their goaltending does not play well, they tend to struggle. And there's factors to that, the defense in front of the goaltending, obviously turnovers in front of the goaltending, and, not being able to play well on specialty teams. The Peeke has let them down at times, especially the other night in Ottawa, 4 power play goals against. So, there's certainly factors to the goaltending, but it might be as simply as, when the goaltenders are on their games, they play pretty well. It's going to be, that's going to be a challenge for that to happen all year long. Because, people go through slumps, people get a little nicked up, banged up, lose focus, mental drain, all that stuff happens over the course of an 82 game schedule. And with the condensed schedule, the games are a little bit more fast and furious. So, there's a little bit more mentally that you have to deal with and rebounding from bad outings and that kind of thing. So there's a lot that goes into it. And I'm just not sure they're going to be able to get the kind of goaltending they need all year long to be able to sustain this.
I'm with you. I just think that the whole piss and vinegar, play hard every night, be hard to play against, wasn't going to work for 2 reasons. And one is you can't do that for 82 games and expect to go out, give all your energy every single night for 82 games when you're not that talented. And the second thing is the condensed schedule. That makes it even harder, like you just said, like the lack of rest and the lack of practicing when you're implementing a new defensive structure and system and you have no practice time. And then you blame the players. And one of the things about that pregame interview with Sweeney was that he came out and said, now it's up to the players. Well, first of all, you have a roster that's not Stanley Cup contending. It's not even, some people say, not even playoff contending. So how are you blaming? You're going to blame the players up to the players? No, it's you have a second-rate roster out there. So now you're trying to get something out of them that just you have the expectation way too high for them. And then they're going to have some stinkers because they aren't that good. So if they're not playing balls to the wall, if they're not playing with focus, if they're not getting puck luck, they're going to have nights like the other night against Ottawa when they lose 7-1. They just are. So it's just not sustainable over time. It's professional hockey. It's a long season. Like, to go out every single night and just be like, boy, like, give it your all. Jesus, sometimes they're just going to lay an egg, and they did in Ottawa, big time. Now, I will say that this team is really, like you said, bounced back, showed resiliency within game. Like, they've come back. The one time they didn't was that Ottawa game where they let it go, similar to last year. But other than that, they've been fighting. It goes 2-0 against the Islanders, and I'm like, this is going to get ugly. Like, we might lose 6-0, and the crowd's going to throw things on the ice. Like, it looked like it was going to be bad. And then all of a sudden, like it's happened at Colorado, against Colorado too, quick goals that come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
From a team that really struggles to score. But is that sustainable too? No, that's not sustainable either. Like, so, 5-on-5, they aren't good. 5-on-5, they are amongst the worst in the league offensively and defensively. 5-on-5. If there's no special teams in the game, then they struggle to score and struggle to keep it out of the net.
All 100% true. And I'll add one more thing about Sweeney talking about it being on the players. Like, you just implemented a new system. You're 12 games in. Some of these guys have been playing the same system before that for many, many years. So to think they're just 12 games in, gonna pick it up like, they've been playing it for years is just completely disingenuous. Like, why would you think they're just going to jump right in and pick it up immediately and there aren't going to be any speed bumps? Like, they're asking an awful lot from a team. There were veterans here, sure, that played the system, but then you brought a bunch of new guys in too, and all those guys have to gel with the guys you already had, and you learn a new system offensively and defensively, and it's just, we're going to just hit the ground running. Everything's going to be fine. The guys know the system now, so it's on them if they make any mistakes. That sounds like you're kind of deflecting the blame off the roster and the coach and putting it on players where, it may not be their fault, at least at this point in the season.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, it just disingenuous is a good word. Like, or an arrogant asshole is another word.
Sure.
Like, it's just like, seriously, like, I don't know. I mean, when you see that interview, like, if I'm Pastrnak or McAvoy or some other guys on the team, I'm just like, really, dude? Like, you have a first year coach, he puts in a new system, a bunch of new guys. And then, like you said, 11 games in, 12 games in, and this is what you're going to say about it? Like, it just, he has not really, the only time he's ever really admitted any type of fault was the player development comment in that interview during the summer. Like, that was really the only time I've heard him say anything on his own. Like, boy, we didn't do that well, or we're not doing this well, or I didn't give them enough resources I thought the resources I gave him was enough. It's not. So he doesn't really do that. He's just very arrogant. He thinks he's done all the right things, which he hasn't. And it's still, this roster right now, it's kind of a mismatch of players that all play hard, but they can't sustain a long win streak because there's too many factors against them. Like, either one night they're not going to get good goaltending, another night they're not going to be able to possess the puck. They might have an injury, and then there's going to be severe ups and downs with this type of team. That's what mediocre teams are.
Yeah, and as Brick said, they might not be able to complete 2 passes getting out of their own defensive zone.
Yeah. So whose fault is that? Like, I just don't know what the plan is, and I'm thinking the more they do this type of thing against the Islanders, the more he's going to wait, like he always does. And I just think that he's not the type to make a bold, like, hockey trade or move that is kind of against the grain. It might look like they're doing okay, but he knows deep down they aren't. So he'll make a move. Like, good GMs do that type of thing. You really know your team, and you're like, this is fool's gold. This isn't going to sustain. So I'm going to do this. or I'm going to do that. So, and I don't know. He's got Casey Middlestat that he probably wants to get rid of, because I would want to trade Casey Middlestat first, and he probably can't because he's not getting the return he wants, because he loves to win trades. So he's probably not seeing the return he wants. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's Zacha that they really want, but he really doesn't want to get rid of Zacha because he's a 200-foot player and he's got a good contract and he's younger than Pastrnak, and so he probably wants to trade the other guy, but they want Zacha, and now he's going to drag his feet, and it's going to be maddening. It's going to continue to be maddening. And
I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, he will drag his feet. He will probably trade the wrong guy. In the end, and he loves to pass the buck. I've talked about it a bunch, so I won't belabor the point, but the transparency within the organization, I just hate it. I think it sucks. I really do.
I do too.
I really wish they would tell the fans the truth. I really wish they would be upfront and honest about things, about mistakes. And if they did that, like I've said before, you wouldn't be able to pile on for the 2015 draft. If they just came out and said, look, we fucked that thing up, you wouldn't be able to pile on them anymore, because they admitted that they fucked it up. So you can't say, oh, you fucked it up, because they'll just say, we know, we told you we did, and then it would be over. But people still bring it up. I'll still bring it up because they fucked it up. Jimmy
Murphy said it's fine.
Murphy brought it up, and he seems to think that the Bruins did the right thing by selecting 3 guys that aren't on the team anymore and can't play in the NHL instead of Matt Barzal. Matt Barzal, you can see the skill, but I don't know.
He thinks
not much else there. Well, the skill's there, and this team needs it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
How about the pass Matt Barzal made cross crease for a goal number 2? I don't know if there's any other guy on your team that makes that play other than maybe Pastrnak. And if Casey Middlestat, it doesn't turn the puck over in the corner, maybe he makes that pass. But other than that, I don't think so. So
I'll tell you, I thought that was outrageous.
It is outrageous.
I mean, so what you're saying is they made the right move by taking Zach Senyshyn over Matt Barzal. Okay, well, it's 470 points in 500 something games. Really? Okay, great. All right. 7 Chirps is sponsored by Lops Brewing, Lobster Brewery and Tasting Room in downtown Woonsocket, Rhode Island, specializing in small batch ales and lagers. Open 7 days a week. Use the code SPORTS to get 10% off your online order at lopsbrewing.com or follow them on social media at Lops Brewing. And hello to everybody in the chat. Everybody's jumping in. Nice to see. First one is Hampus Lindholm, the real MVP of the Bruins.
According to that record right there, if you're watching on YouTube, he might be. When Hampus plays, they are 126, 40, and 18 with a 68.5% win percentage. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Sure is.
When he's in the lineup. And it seems, and I said this last night, I think it was last night. We've done so many shows in a row now that I'm losing track, but I think it was last night. When he's in, McAvoy seems to be settled down some.
Yes.
And the rest of the decor seems to settle down. And maybe it's Matthew Curtis just said Hampus is the actual backbone of our defense. If he went out again, it'd be more noticeable than McAvoy going out. And I think you might be right, Matthew.
You might be right.
I think Hampus actually is the backbone of the defense. I don't think it's Charlie. Charlie might be, more talented, but I think Hampus has a calming presence on everybody back there that just permeates the entire decor when he's in. And he eats a lot of minutes. He plays defensive zone starts so that McAvoy doesn't have to if they're not on the same pair. So he takes a lot of the hard minutes away from the rest of the guys. And I think that opens everybody up to kind of breathe and relax and play. And he's invaluable in that regard. He's a little bit older too, so maybe it's like a big brother kind of a thing. I don't know. But I think he's the backbone of that decor. Is the MVP of the team? No, that's Pastrnak. But if he is he the MVP of the defense? Yeah, I think he is.
I'm with you. I think that Hampus Lindholm people have always sort of thought, boy, he's more of an offensive than defensive. I think he's a really good defenseman. Like, I think he's a really good defenseman. I think he's an underrated defenseman from the defensive aspect of it. Like, and like you said, like he actually provides the second pair, a steady second pair, so that McAvoy doesn't have to go out and feel like he has to do everything he has to do in 26 minutes of ice time, and fly around and try to do all these things. Hampus Lindholm actually does provide kind of that calming kind of force to them. And I mean, that number doesn't lie. I mean, that's a pretty good record there. And this year, when he's been in the games, like they win, so he's probably he might be the most important, other than Pastrnak, he might be the most important guy they have when it comes to injury, is that when he's out, boy, it shows. And I don't think people have really noticed it until recently, like until he's been out this time and coming back, and when Lohrei and McAvoy and all that mess, like I think they're finally realizing just how valuable this guy is.
I think so. And he's got a really good contract. So, as long as, his injury history doesn't catch up with him, I think he's gonna be, well, unless they really tank and he wants to go somewhere else, I feel like he's going to be here, through the duration of that contract, because I think so too. Such an important part to the defense.
Yeah, he's really good. He started out like gangbusters when he first came here. If you remember that, like he was like a Norris, like people talking about Norris.
I think McAvoy was hurt and he kind of stepped up and he had like 20 something points, I think, in like the first 20 games or something like that. It was like 27 points in 20 games or something crazy.
Yeah.
While McAvoy was out, and it really shows, that he could be, he can be the 1A, 1B with McAvoy, I think.
I'm with you. Chirp number 2, Mason Lohrei, another defenseman, matched, and the D looked better. What do you do with old Mace?
I think you let him. I think you let him watch some more. I do. I think you let him watch some more, or you send him down to Providence and you let him play his 30 minutes a night and learn on the job. But I don't think they want to do that, because they want to go 82-0 down there. So you bring Lohrei in, there's bound to be some hiccups defensively. So I don't know if they want him down there tarnishing their defense. So
I mean, they're gonna be 7-0. They're up tonight too. Like they're beating Winston-Salem or whoever the hell they're playing. Wilkes-Barre.
Make that 7 straight. As of a minute ago, 3-1 Providence.
3-1 Providence. Okay,
we're having the most fun in town.
Oh,
tell you what,
no one's having more fun than us.
They played. Fucking Scranton was undefeated as well.
7-0. 7-0.
7-1 now. So
7-1, and they beat them. This is the 13th time in a row at Scranton. I guess some ungodly stat where they beat them 13 times in a row at Wilkes-Barre, Winston-Salem, whatever the fuck they are. Like, I mean, it's amazing. Hey, Providence Bruins have a lot of really good AHL players that are established AHL players. Like, let's not get too horny about it. Like, they have got Blumel and Steves, who combined for like 75 goals last year in the league.
Yeah.
Like,
and Merkulov.
Merkulov, who was a 30 goal scorer there. Yeah.
Lysell had it 22, I think, or something like that.
I mean, they've got really good AHL players.
Me too.
That's why they scratched 2 of their younger guys today for veteran players leading up to this, important, pivotal 7th game of the season. And
damn it, you know what? You play to win the game.
That's
what
right.
I mean? Like that's it. That's
talking about practice.
Bruins don't have any practice.
Not a game that we die for. You talking about practice? You kidding me?
God. I think I've died a few deaths already. 12 games in. Chirp 3, McAvoy Zadorov pair looked good. Can we run with this for a while? Do you think
we should run with it for a while?
Yeah,
we should. Because I like the idea of giving, apricots and Yoki the Joker, like 10 minutes a night, 12 minutes a night. Like, I don't want those guys to play. I really don't. So if Zadorov and McAvoy can play, 25, 26, and Hampus Lindholm and Andrew Peeke can do that too, then you only have to worry about playing, apricots and the Joker, 12 minutes a night. So that to me is a win in my book. So that's what I would like to see. And I think Zadorov's earned that. I think he's earned, not being on the third pair and not
right
and playing, with McAvoy. And I think they can develop some chemistry. If they give it a little bit of a chance. They played together in preseason a couple times and it wasn't great, but it was a couple of times. Like that takes a little bit of time. So, just as we'd like to see, Poitras or whomever come up and play with Pastrnak for 10, 12 games, or Lysell play with those guys, to get a fair shot. I think you have to do the same with McAvoy and Zadorov. You have to give it a fair chance for them to see what it looks like. So I feel like that's 5, 6, 7, 8 games, something like that.
I feel like it could work. Look, they've been struggling to get a pairing for McAvoy. Like that's part of the issue is that a guy that he feels comfortable playing with, that he feels comfortable playing with McAvoy. Like there just hasn't been the chemistry that Grzelcyk and him had. I mean, they were always tops in the league at 5-on-5 play as defensemen for whatever reason. I mean, BU guys and all that. I don't know what it is, but or Grzelcyk really knew McAvoy well and really knew what he needed to do to help him. Haven't been able to find that pairing since, and it's an issue. Like, and it's not. Sure. I think it's a bigger issue than people give it credit for. Like it is. Like you got to find a guy. You got to have a stable top pair. Like any great team has a stable top pair, and you haven't had one from much of the last couple of years.
No, so, it's been a revolving door, and I think they were trying to, even with his defensive liabilities, I think they were trying to shoehorn Lohrei into that thing. He's going to be like, this is what we envisioned, so that we're going to make it this. Like, no.
Well, Donnie envisions a lot.
Yeah, sure. He probably has a vision board up on his wall with
he does.
Ribbons and pictures and all kinds of shit.
What are those vision boards? Yeah, we've made those with special ed kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So Donnie has one of those with his pictures of McAvoy and his
Lee
Stepniak and whatnot. So I feel like they kind of envisioned that, and it just never took because Lohrei's a train wreck defensively.
It's just not working.
Yeah, so you can't do it. So for them to adapt and change, I think is difficult. I don't think they like to do it. I don't think he likes to do it. I think he's set in his ways. I think he takes a long time to make decisions. You can see that in trades. I think he waits and waits and waits and waits and waits and then hopes a solution will kind of come to him. I feel like they got to give this McAvoy Zadorov thing a shot.
I do. And look, and like I've said before, maybe Mason Lohrei is Mike Riley, and that's all he really is. Then fine, have him be a third pair guy,
sure, and
play 14 minutes a game, and just don't fuck it up. Maybe throw a goal every once in a while, do something dazzling, and then just be steady and just don't overexpose him. So maybe that's the answer. Chirp 4, Pavel Zacha trade rumors are heating up. Should they trade him?
They should, but I mean, look, they should trade Mittelstadt first if it's possible. But I don't think it is. So they should trade him, but they should wait until the deadline when it's more of a bidding war situation and you can, maximize the return that you get.
It's too bad, really, because I think I wouldn't mind Zacha staying.
Yeah.
If they could play him like third line center. You know what I mean? And have a couple of guys above him that were better. And then I think he's good there. But since he has to do more and you have to expect more from him, again, it leads to higher expectations than he can give. But overall, he's a good hockey player. Like he's good.
Yes.
But and if you trade him, then you have to get another guy kind of like him at the least to fill that spot. So like you said, he's not the most ideal guy to trade for me, but I don't think you're going to be able to get someone to take Mittelstadt or some of these other guys. So he might be the one chip you're willing to give to get something in return.
Yeah, my problem with Zacha is he's a good player. He has a good shot. He does all the right things. He just underproduces, and I'm not exactly sure why. Like, he doesn't drive a line 5-on-5 really. So, like, as much as I would like to say, yeah, you could be the number 2 center, you know, and maybe you start James Hagen's on a wing to let him break into the league or whatever. But I think he really needs to be with like really good players.
He does.
And even then, like playing with Pastrnak, like they never really developed a chemistry, I feel like.
No, they didn't. Which is surprising.
I feel like he needs really good players that play more, I want to say like normal hockey, like uncreative hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. Like I know where you're going to be. You know where I'm going to be.
Solid hockey. Robotic, solid, methodical hockey.
Yeah. Methodical. More. Pasternak's a little creative, I think. And he kind of surprises them, I think, at times.
Yeah.
And he's not shot ready. And if he was, like Geekie is, you know, I think he has a good shot. He could score. But he just hasn't found that guy. He needs like a centerman or a winger that plays more direct. And I just, the Bruins don't have that guy. And I don't know if they ever will. But the problem with the Bruins, like you said, third line center for him. Yeah, they have 3 third line centers right now.
Oh my God, at least
4 third line centers, because they have Elias Lindholm, who is a third line center, as much as people want to say he's a 1, he's not. Then you have Zacha, who, you know, whatever, 2, 3. Then you have Mittelstadt, 3-ish. And then you have Minton, who's a young kid who you're trying to break into the lineup, who's, you know, had his moments and then, you know, some not so great moments. But, you know, what do you do there in that whole jumbled mess? Like, I think Zacha's better in the middle because he can win face-offs. He's responsible 200 feet, like that whole thing. So is Elias Lindholm. So is Minton. So something's got to give there.
Right.
And I think it's probably Zacha, because like you said, that's what you can get the most for.
Yeah, I think it was like they didn't have really quality centers, and that was the biggest need. And it's almost like you had like, we don't have great tires, so let's go accumulate 8 ball tires. You know what I mean? It's just like okay, like
4 ball tires, and
that's not the point. The point was not to get more tires; it's just to get a better couple tires.
Yeah,
like and that's kind of what it is. They have so many centers right now that they have to do something.
Yeah,
like you can't go with all these guys. They're all kind of the same. They all kind of have. They might have slight differences to them, but they're all the same kind of level of play. They're all the same kind of. No one moves the needle. There's no separation between guys. It's all you could put in a guy. The worst thing as a coach you could have. I mean, I've had teams I've coached in basketball where if you got 11 guys, then you don't have any guys. Like you don't know who to play on any given night, because this guy could go out and score 10 points, or this guy go out and lay an egg, and then the other guy could come in and score 10 points, then he lays an egg, and it's just like you have too many like guys that aren't really that great, and you don't know who to play on any given night.
Yeah.
So they just have too many of those guys, and I just they have to do something about that. They got so anxious about that need that they just went out and got 12 centers.
Yeah.
And it's just like
now they have centers that don't know how to play the wall.
No,
so they don't.
They
have a bunch of guys who don't know how to play the wings, and then you're struggling there. Well, why can't he take the puck off the wall and make a pass to the center? Because he's the center. That's why.
He's a center.
He's used to catching the pass in the middle, not taking the puck off the wall.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't love Zacha at wing, and that's why I don't like Minton at wing, and these guys. I don't like it.
You have so many guys that are playing the wing that have never played the wing probably since Pee Wee. Mm-hmm. They've been the best player on their team. They've been playing center their whole life, and then all of a sudden they get to the NHL, and the Bruins are like, "Well, we're going to put you at wing because we have 14 centers on the roster." Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how to play wing. I'll play wing because I want to play, but I don't know how to do it. Right. Or at least not well. Like when
I don't want Poitras there either.
Yeah, when Nick Cronwall's crashing down on you from the point, you're trying to make a play on the wall, you're going to get caved in every time. So it all goes back to mismanagement of the roster. Why do you have 14 centers and no natural wingers? Well, because we were worried about our center position. Well, now you have an overabundance of all of the same type of player. They're all, pretty average. You just happen to pay, a couple of them too much money. Great.
There's a couple of philosophies that I don't jive with Sweeney. One is that everybody's going to be a 200-foot guy, number one. Yes. And then the other one is like we want to accumulate centers because they are the smartest guy out there. Like they are, they can play defense and they can do this and that. And centers, everybody can win faceoffs. And I mean, you need like wingers or wingers. Wingers go out. You need goal scoring wingers, who come down the wing and make a play and can receive a pass from your center and that type of stuff. Having a bunch of centers, like you said, are out of position. I don't believe that philosophy. He loves center. He loves captains and he loves centers.
Yeah, he does.
And it's a disjointed bunch, and I don't love it. Chirp 5 is in their 5 wins this season, Bruins goaltenders have combined for a .940 save percentage. Is it as simple as if the Bruins don't get elite goaltending, they lose?
Yes.
I think so too.
It is that simple. It really is. They have a .940 save percentage in wins, and what is it? An .852.
Oh my God, it's way down. It's 850-ish. Yeah, right, in their losses. Yeah, yes.
835.
Yeah, that's horrific.
835 in their losses and a .940 in their wins. So that's
a distinct.
And again, like I said before, there are factors involved for why the goaltending plays bad on a certain night. Certainly, there is. Right. But if you watch those games, you can tell when the goalies are on and when they're not. For the most part, I would say, with the exception maybe of Korpisalo last night, where he looked awful in the first period.
He did.
And after the first couple of goals, but then was very, very good. The rest of the game. And he ended up with a great save percentage because he shut them down after that. But for the most part, you can tell when the goalies are playing well and when they're not. And when they're not, like it's dicey.
And it's also deflating to the team because they know they have a hard time scoring 5-on-5 and all that. So if you give up a soft one like last night was just like you guys are. I mean, the Bruins are out there playing a great first shift, and then they come down and they literally score on a shot that needs to be saved. And then you just like, and then for the next 8 or 10 minutes, they were hemmed in their zone. You could just see the deflation from that play. The goaltending is still too consistent for my liking. Inconsistent for my liking. It's too inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard because you can make all the excuses in the world for goaltenders. You can say, the defense sucks, and they're turning it over, and what could he do there? What could he do there? They're NHL goaltenders, and one of them is making 8.25. He's got to make some of those saves. He's got to make some of those 10 bell like on your ear like saves to help you out sometimes, especially on this team. He has to.
Yeah.
Or he's not worth he's not worth that money.
No, I mean that's why you're paying him for that. He's the bulldog. Yes. He's Maine Business School. He's me, myself, and Sway. Like he's got to be able to make some of those saves. Like that's the point of having an elite goaltender. When the defense breaks down, you need him to be back there and make a big save. Like if you're up 1-0 or if you're down 2-1, like those saves matter at important times. Like that's what you need. You need a big save and a big spot sometimes, and that's the difference in the game. And sometimes they get them this year, and sometimes they don't.
And look, I was the guy that says you got to pay Swayman, and it was hoping right around what he got, or whatever. The length of the negotiations and everything really hurt, but I was the guy that said, "Yeah, go pay the guy." And I'd hate to say, like in revisionist history and in hindsight, like, well, should you give Allmark the 4 years instead of giving him the 8 years and all that stuff? But at the end of the day, you kind of backed yourself in the corner there, and you had to pay the guy. And he came off a really good postseason, and then now this year, he's kind of showing that he's just not an elite goaltender. He can be very, very good, but he's just not an elite goaltender.
No,
and I don't trust that he can bring you to that promised land when the time comes.
I think he can play at an elite level because he has.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he did it in the playoffs, even though they didn't win the series. And he's done it in games this year. Certainly, he has.
Mm-hmm.
It's the consistency. That's what makes you elite. Can you do it over and over and over and over again? He can.
He can.
He'll have stretches where he's ridiculously good, but then he'll have stretches where he gets beat low blocker, 3 times in fucking 5 shots. And you're like, what is happening right now?
Right.
Why can you not make a save?
Right. Or give up a rebound that heads into the slot and banging home. Like, look,
he's a very good goalie. And I was with you. He should have been paid. He's in his early 20s or whatever it is, mid 20s now. I don't know. And it was the right move to pay that guy. Now, it should have probably been less than what he got, but they backed themselves into a corner because they traded fucking Allmark first and left themselves with no leverage. That's dumb. That's on Sweeney. That's a mistake. Because if Allmark was still here, then they could have played the whole, well, if you don't want to sign, we'll sign Ollie.
Yeah. Right.
But they didn't. They traded Ollie, and then Swayman standing there fucking, looking like Mr. Burns, like, oh, give me my sacks of money now.
Yeah. Like, became the Swayman show
on that one. Yeah. And so he held out until he got paid what he wanted to get paid. And then you screwed yourself there. And so now you're stuck with a goalie who's getting paid a little too much and not doing enough. And you hope he can develop the consistency. Maybe he can. I don't know. It's possible. I mean, goalies flame out just as often as they rise to the occasion. I mean, I would fine. Look, if this was a good team and over the course of the season he was above average, I could handle that if he played like he played in the Florida series in the playoffs. Like if he rose his game in the playoffs and then regular season he was above average, let in some softies, had some bad nights, whatever. I could live with it.
But if he was nails when it mattered.
Yeah, if he was nails when it matters. But we're probably not going to be able to find that thing out. He's getting paid a little too much. And he's a little too, me, myself, and Sway.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way.
Goalies are typically aloof, but this guy is just kind of in his own world. And, again, that's another thing. Do you want to go with a guy who's in his own world? I don't know. It's part of the deal. I don't know. Chirp 6, Will Morgan Geekie score 50 this year. Pasta thinks so. He talks him up. He tells him all the time, you can score 50 in this league. And I think, honestly, I think he can. I think he has such a good shot that he can. I mean, he can score at least 40. He might score 40 this year. And he can be a 50 goal maybe one time because he has such. I mean, that shot was the hardest shot on Frozen Frenzy. It was 98.5 miles an hour. Yeah. Like he hammered that one timer from a distance. Backing up from a distance. And he can do it. He can shoot the puck. And if he ever had a center that could really play make and dish him the puck and put it where he needs to, man, he'd be tough.
Yeah, if he had an Adam Oates.
Oh my God.
Because I mean, just look at the play the other night with Zadorov coming down the slot on a little 2-on-1, gives him a little backhand sauce right in the wheelhouse, and he just blisters that thing by the goalie.
Oh my God, he's got a howitzer.
He really does. He has an elite NHL shot. He does.
Yeah, there you go.
Can he score 50? I agree with you. I think he could probably do it once. Probably, it probably won't happen. I'll say that. Right. It probably won't happen. But I do think he could get 40 this year.
Sure. I think he can.
I think he could.
I mean, he might have 2 40 goal scorers in that group and still suck.
Yeah, you might have 2 40 goal scorers, and then the next guy has, 15.
Yeah. And that guy is Mikey Asimont, probably.
No, that guy is going to be Elias Lindholm, and they're all going to be power play goals because that's the only way he can score.
That's correct. That's the only way. All right, in Chirp 7, how much of an issue is the offense? People talk about it. Well, offense really isn't a problem. Look at all the, they are scoring goals and this, that, and the other thing. But again, 5-on-5, They don't possess the puck. There's very little cycle in the zone. They go stretches where they go shotless for minutes on end when it's 5-on-5. They've been lucky enough to have quite a bit of penalties called in their games. Like they've had many games where they've had multiple chances power play, and they've been better with the power play. Not great, but been better. And they've scored some power play goals. But when it's 5-on-5, especially against good teams, they have a hard time getting it and then a hard time keeping it.
They do. They have a hard time with all that stuff. They do seem to score quickly in spurts, though.
They do. They do.
And I actually looked it up. I believe they are. They have the second most goals, I believe. And Connor can check on me, but I think I looked it up today. Second most goals in the Eastern Conference.
Maybe.
I think they do. I think they do. And they're like top 7, top 8 in the league in goals. Yeah. So they're finding ways to score. So I would say at this point, the offense is not the problem. I would say the defense is the problem, because if you score 5 goals a game, you should win. And they've done that a few times and lost. So
I see it as
sustainable though. No, it is not.
I see it as though your defense, when they get the puck, can't fucking do anything right, and that begins the offense. Do you know what I'm saying? So their back end has not been good offensively for a while.
No,
like they don't get points, they don't get goals, they don't do much in the offensive zone. They aren't a threat. Like that's been an issue for a while. Go ahead, Connor.
So they are currently 15th in the league with 3.25 goals for per game.
Okay.
I was going to
half the league.
I was talking about total goals scored, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean per game, sure. But so halfway point, which some would argue still isn't that much of an issue. But I'm just saying, like, they're a lot of their offensive issues stem from bad centers, and defense just doesn't help them.
Yeah, I was just going to say even at 3.5 goals a game, you should win. You should
win those games because you have the goaltending you paid for.
You're supposed to have the goaltending and the defense. You're supposed to have that. So you should win. You should win.
Can you say with that then that Sweeney then can say we are what I thought we were, and we can still win, and we are scoring by committee, like he said.
100%.
Like all the things he said, but we're not getting the goaltending and defense that I thought we'd get it. We're not getting the structure, and we're not getting the goaltender. Go, Connor.
I think that total goals scored is a little bit skewed because the Bruins have played 3 to 4 more games than some of these teams.
Yeah, they have.
That's why the goals for per game is a little bit more reality, but to each their own.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like Sweeney can say, I thought we'd score by committee, which we have been. We're scoring enough goals. We're not getting the defensive structure that I said, nor the piss and vinegar all the time. And the goaltending still doesn't bail us out enough.
Yeah, that's all true. And I think that's why he went on that 5-minute diatribe when Brick started to talk to him about not being able to get the puck out of his defensive zone. Because he wants to blame the defense and the goaltending that they're not. It's not doing enough. Because they're scoring, because he said they would score by committee, and they are. So he's right there, Harvard man, right? But the thing that he thought was going to be the backbone of the team isn't. So he's explaining to everybody that will listen, what they're doing wrong. It's on the players. It's on the players. Remember, not him. Because what he said was right. It's on the players to get it correct.
That's it.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his fault. It's the players. Okay, so we're going to get to Beauties and Benders, and then we're going to get to Dan Maynard's 90 Seconds of Fame. Beauty for this week, full-size candy bars.
They're going to love you, eh? They're going to be loving you from dawn until dusk.
Give the full size at Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Got to.
Even though it costs you $100 for a bag of full size, probably. Get the full size candy bar and give it out at Halloween. Okay.
You know how much
Don't
of a
give me
rock star
Dums. Here's a top 5 for you. Like Dum Dums.
No. Wait.
Oh, we're doing that later?
Next.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You can bender it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for the bender, candy corn and assorted bullshit.
Bender.
Candy corn sucks.
Oh,
Pieces of wax, sugar wax.
it is.
Sucks.
It is wax.
And don't give it out. Don't give it out at Halloween. Don't be that person. Don't do it. Give out the big candy bars.
Give me a spoonful of in my hands.
Rock star. You look like such a rock star when you give out the full size candy bars. The kids run away from your house. They tell the entire neighborhood. They're like, Smitty's giving out full size fucking Hershey bars. Get over there quick before they're gone. Yeah. But if you're giving out, mom's popcorn balls with hair and lint in them, or you have Werthers from the fucking coffee table that have been in there for 30 years, or, a thing of jelly beans that you still have lying around from Easter. Like, don't be that fucking person. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Matthew Curtis says, I had a neighbor who gave out wax lips. Oh man!
Oh, don't give out wax lips either.
Yeah, don't give out wax lips.
We want that. All right, let's get to the comments. We're going to begin with Dan Maynard, our very own Dan Maynard, our boy. He sent in this video for us.
Hello, Benders community. This is Dan. I am coming here from Japan. Really quickly, before anything else, my daughter Paige wants to say hi. That's Paige. Really quickly, as you can see here in lovely Japan at Sensoji Temple. All right, really quickly, Adrian, you finally get to hear my accent. It's awful. Yes, I know, we sound disgusting. Secondly, what do I say about the Bruins? Other than I am fucking sick and tired of seeing these games. It's nice to see them get a win, but at the same time, I want them to tank like absolute fucking crazy. Like, fuck Sweeney off. Fuck this shit. Stop wasting Pastor in his prime fucking years. Sorry, John. I could swear my fucking head off right now. And I shouldn't be swearing. I'm in the oldest temple in Tokyo. I shouldn't be doing that. All right, I don't want to make this video too long. Go Bruins, but also fucking Bruins tank so we can make the most out of this team in the next couple of years. All right. Nice to meet yous, and boy! Oh, and I got my Tokyo Giants hat. Woo! Saw ya.
Tell you that. What? That Tokyo Giants hat, fire.
Oh, that is a sweet lid right there.
That's a sweet lid. I'm a hat guy. I love that thing.
That is
fantastic.
Yeah. I love how he says, I don't want to swear too much.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Dan. Thanks for sending in the video, and to your lovely daughter. Appreciate you guys checking in on your vacation from Tokyo.
Yeah,
I'd like to go
live from Tokyo.
I think that'd be fantastic.
I love how he says I don't want to swear too much after he just rolled off like 6 F words. That was fantastic.
Yeah, firing them off.
But I'm with Tankathon too, Danny.
Yeah,
sure.
Man after my own heart.
Yeah, and hi Paige, thanks for checking in.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the comments. And Dan says, jumping in to say hi, fellas, and all. Currently walking around a shopping center in Tokyo, and we are lost. This place is fucking confusing, and I've been here 3 times. Never gets easier. Sorry, John. Bruins says, what's up, fellas? Watching the series, more entertaining than the Leafs game. Game 5 of the series, the World Series. How about this with the Frozen Frenzy? Let's put the Frozen Frenzy on Game 4 night of the World Series. Like, you couldn't do Frozen Frenzy the next week, like next Tuesday. Couldn't do that. You had to do it right in the heart of World Series time.
I mean, the NHL has never been great at marketing themselves.
No.
And another giant strike right here.
Oh my God. And then he also says Kyle Connor will look good in a Bruin uniform. He would, but he's signed for like 8 years, so he would.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that future star Euro Vakanainen, who is with the Vac is with the somebody. I just
with
did
the Rangers now, I believe.
Yeah, he's with the Rangers playing with Schneider in the third pair. Yes. Go ahead, Connor.
You know what I just realized? I might be like Bruins kryptonite because I interviewed Johnny Beecher and he's fucking trash.
Yeah.
And I was at the draft in Chicago when they drafted Vakanainen and they fucking yeeted him off the team. So
okay, so
maybe
you're a cancer.
I'm the jinx.
Yeah, you're a jinx. That's for sure.
When did you start watching the Bruins? This is the real test.
Well, that's actually the opposite because I started watching in the 2010-2011 season.
Oh, so
that ended with the Stanley Cup. I went to the
jumped
parade,
on the bandwagon.
Yards.
Okay, so who were you a fan of before that year?
So I didn't really watch hockey for a long time because I was more into baseball, but I grew up kind of a hybrid Red Wings and Bruins fan because my dad's from Michigan.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
Liam actually now
That's
has.
what we're going to need you to do, Connor. We're going to need you to stop following hockey for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Immerse yourself in baseball, and then when the Bruins have Hagens and a couple of other blue chip prospects ready to go, we need you to jump back on board so they can win the cup in that year.
Yeah.
This is what we need from you now.
Because you're like the hot girl that brings all the good stuff early and then wears you the fuck out afterwards.
Yeah. So
that's what
we need you to still give us all the tidbits and produce the show and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't
I just can't watch the games anymore.
Yeah, just don't watch the game.
Don't really pay attention to any of it. Just give us the facts and figures and smoke a lot of weed. I think that would be good.
Well, I think
I'm just gonna keep sitting here on X and tweeting back at all the dumb ass.
Yeah, there you go.
I love this new Connor Green. I love this new Connor.
I do.
Just calling people out. Yeah. I love how you put a bananas emoji. That's bananas. Yeah, and you put a banana emoji and then apostrophe S. That's bananas.
It was a fun way to do it with a character limit.
Oh my god, that was great. Matthew Curtis says Hampus is the actual backbone of our defense. If he went out again, it'd be more noticeable than McAvoy going out. And I agree. We agree. It's a revelation we've come up with, but I think that's true. Lucky Charm. This is a good one. Do you think Swayman has permanently lost a portion of the fan base from breaking their trust and playing poorly last season? Once you break someone's trust, you never get it all the way back. Yes. I think we talked about this before.
We did talk about it before, yes.
Tuukka Rask never fully got the whole fan base behind him because of his demeanor and some of the, just kind of how he was. And he's a far better goalie than Swayman is or ever will be. And Swayman, once he breaks that Bruins trust, there's going to be people who never give it to him unless.
Yep. There's the one caveat. Yep. There's the one caveat.
If he doesn't win the cup, he'll never get those people back.
That's the way. That's the only way he can get it back is if he wins.
Because Tuukka didn't win, so he never got it back.
Nope. He has to win one. He has to win a cup. That's the only way he'll get some of those people back on his side.
Bingo. Matthew Curtis, bottom 5 defense without Hampus, top 10 with him. It's crazy. Yeah. Right. I mean, when he's in there, they win. It's pretty clear. DK says it's April 2026. The Bruins are 30 points out of a playoff spot. Marco Sturm post game need more buy-in. Yeah. What do you think buy-in mean? Here's the thing I don't understand. I think for the most part, they've played hard. The Ottawa game, I think they fucking mailed it in. But the rest of the games, I think they pretty much played hard. And I think they're trying. Yeah. So the buy-in to me, when you say buy-in, you're like, oh, guys are just fucking around. That's what it tells me. But the buy-in is that they're not doing what I'm at, this new structure, what I'm asking them to do. And if that's the case, maybe they don't get it. Maybe they don't get it.
Yeah, that was my point. Why Sweeney and Sturm are thinking after 12 games in a new system, all of a sudden it's going to be no mistakes.
Yes,
that's not the case.
No,
so I agree with you. I don't think it's a buy-in problem. I think it might be a we don't get the system fully yet problem.
Right?
Because I agree. I think they're trying. I think they're playing hard for the most part. With the exception of the Ottawa game, I think they are. They've come back in a bunch of games. Last year, those games all would have ended up in blowouts.
Right.
So I think they are bought in. They're all trying. They're all playing hard. They're just not very talented, and they might not have the full grasp of the system yet.
And if you're talking about like guys like Middlestat and Lohrei, they can't play that way. They don't play the way. They don't play the piss and vinegar way and all this other stuff. They don't match up with your defense and your piss and vinegar thing. They don't do those two things.
No.
So that's not their fault. So if Sweeney says, well, it's up to the players. No, you have guys who don't have the personality to play the way you want. This is why we talk about identity all the time.
Yeah.
Like not all the players play with the same identity. That still hasn't been nailed down. They still haven't put all the players on the roster that match the identity or whatever they want to, however they want to play.
Yeah, that's a general manager problem. That's a general manager problem. And I think probably Lohrei is one of those guys they're calling out. Like he needs to be better in his own zone.
He is.
Yeah, but like maybe he's just not a very good defensive defenseman.
He started playing defense late in life. He's not great at it.
Yeah. I mean, how about that? Like, I don't think they've come to that realization yet. And I'm not sure why, because they scouted the guy or they should have scouted him.
That's another thing. Like when you're scouting people and you don't realize that these guys don't do X, Y, Z, you think that you can make them do that. That's a slippery slope. I
feel like they scout players and they're just like, that guy's a good player.
Yeah. They don't get into the nuts and bolts.
Bruins and what we want to do and our style of play. I just feel like that guy's good. Like, so we could draft him.
But that's not
the way it should be. It should be that guy's fit on your team.
Yes.
In your culture, in your identity, in your structure. Can he play the way we want him to play? Is he competitive? Can he skate? Can he play a 200-foot game? Can he play with piss and vinegar and whatever? Like, but they haven't. I don't think they've ever identified that as like, we need to scout according to these traits. I don't think they do it. I don't.
I don't. It doesn't seem as though they do, and they really believe that okay, we got these guys, we can teach them this. And it doesn't match up their skill set. And I think that's why you have some of these problems, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If you isolate your top two lines and say McAvoy, Lindholm, Zadorov, Peeke, that's a good defense. McAvoy, Zadorov, Lohrei, Peeke, that defense needs help, says Matthew Curtis. Yes, it is.
100%.
T-Boss, Elijah Craig, barrel proof with one large cube. That a boy.
I'm a big one large cube guy. Yeah.
I'm a big one large cube guy. Yeah. Jason Lohrei, Leafs getting blown out. That first can make the draft interesting. I'll tell you what. Losing Marner and the kind of the roster they have right now, I think they'll make the playoffs, but it could get dicey if they have an injury or two. Like they end up with a top 15, 16. Like they could end up, if they have a couple of injuries, it could happen. And the Bruins could end up with a
Wouldn't that be so Leafs?
Oh my God, that would be so Leafs.
They trade for Brandon Carlo,
and they gave up a top 12 pick.
End up giving up a top 12 pick who turns into a star on the Bruins, like the Tuukka Rask trade.
Yeah, like the Rask.
Imagine how butthurt the Leafs fans would be.
Oh my God,
if it happened
of all teams.
Oh my God,
of all teams, you give it to the Bruins.
Oh, that would be so nice.
Oh, wouldn't it? I'll tell you what, it's probably not going to happen, but it's a possibility though if there's some injury.
Keep that shit in the back.
Like if Nylander goes out for an extended period of time.
God,
Oh boy. Shaz Diet says Don's vision board going up in flames. Travis, believe it or not, if the Bruins defeat the Sabres tomorrow night, they will be in a tie for the last wild card spot. Yeah, well, I mean, it's game 13. Look, they're playing the Sabres at home, Carolina at home. I mean, 2 home games. They've been playing well at home. I think they're 4-3 at home. I don't know. The Sabres game is going to be an interesting one because they're playing much better.
Yeah.
And Carolina's a terrible matchup for you. So
always has been.
I don't know.
Because they have speed and skill, and you don't.
They have speed and skill and play a certain identifiable style.
Yeah.
And have their ducks in a row.
Their defense they play low to high. They get the puck. The defense gets pucks on net.
Yep.
And they either tip pucks in or score and rebounds on you. And they score off the rush on you. They do basically whatever they want. But for some reason, the Bruins have always had kind of trouble clearing the front of the net against Carolina, and they score at will against you. Go ahead.
So while we're scoreboard watching, if you will, in the standings, there's 15 other teams in the Eastern Conference here. How many of those teams do you think have games in hand on the Bruins?
I would say the Bruins play like all of them, or maybe one is equal.
Every single one of them
happened last year too.
And if you sort,
loads them up.
If you sort the conference by winning percentage, the Bruins are the worst at 417, and the next one up is the Rangers at 455. Everybody else is 500 or better so far.
Really?
Wow. I don't know why that's happened a couple of years in a row that the Bruins play all these games early on and get far ahead, and then it's sort of distorted. I don't know why. It's happened a couple of years in a row now. Matthew Curtis said, you got Minton and a first for Carlo. You're getting 2 picks and a high-end prospect for Zacha. One of the picks is a first. What do you think you're getting for Zacha?
He's saying like a first, maybe a third or a fourth, and a high-end prospect. I can see that. Sure. I could see, first, a Will Zellers type, and a third. Sure. Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. All right. Travis says Sean Corrali should be waived and Beecher should be the 4th line center for the remainder of the season. Curls is done. Hey, Smitty said this to us in a text today, I think, or something.
No,
you said this.
I said it last night.
You said it last night. Yeah, you're like, you know what? And I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yeah.
But Beecher should be the 4th line center and Corrali should not. Yeah, you said it last night. Yeah. And that says a lot because, he and Beecher don't get along very well.
Yeah. Beecher's not a big fan of Smitty.
No, he doesn't love Smitty. T-Bus says the whole goalie debacle with Allmark trade timing, Swayman leverage, Bach is showing to be worse than the 2015 draft gaffe. Well,
yeah.
I mean, you could have Kyle O'Connor and Thomas Chabot and
it's
Matt Barzal.
It's right in that neighborhood, though. It seems it's right in that neighborhood because Swayman lost a lot of fans over that thing, and we just talked about it. It's going to take a lot for those guys to come back, and hasn't really been the same since. I mean, the team's obviously not the same either, but he hasn't played up to that level since before that whole thing went down. So
here's a question for you. If they let's say they picked Connor, Barzal, and Chabot.
Yep.
Okay. How does that play out? Because all those guys would have had to be paid at some point. So how does that play out with the core that they had? And Bergeron and Krejci still around. Marchand still around. Lucci's was in and out. Well, actually, he left just then. So it was Marchand, Krejci, Bergeron, Chara. Like, how does that play out with them? Do they? I don't know if they extend all those guys. Like, I don't know if those guys continue on as Bruins all together. I don't know if that's how that even plays out.
I don't know if all of them would have, but some of them would have. And it may have actually allowed you to supplement your roster because maybe you trade Krejci 2 years earlier.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's when you re-sign Kyle Connor or Matt Barzal. And you're able to then get a pick and another type of player that you need so that your core is stronger. Maybe, you trade them to a contender at one point or another. And, so they may not have all re-signed with you, but I think that might have allowed you to do some different things with the end of the previous core there to kind of make the transition to this current core probably go a lot smoother. And you probably wouldn't have had the dip that you
well, that's the thing. It would have helped Sweeney to not have to, try to create a whole new core. He would have had some of the core going forward.
Yeah, so if you look at the contracts, those 3 players only make about $29 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt Barzal only makes about $1 million more than Elias Lindholm.
Okay.
The big one is going to be Kyle Connor. He makes $12 million, but that's a really new contract. So that would have been different. Thomas Chabot, I believe his contract is $8 million a year. So
Okay, well,
that
that's
would have
not
been your
true, is it?
Hampus Lindholm,
Yeah.
replacement. You never would have traded for Lindholm.
Right.
You never would have signed Elias Lindholm.
Right.
And
Both of them,
Kyle Connor probably would have erased the Morgan Geekie edition.
correct.
And
There
you may not have drafted Charlie McAvoy either.
Right. Right.
So that could
The
have been
next year, right?
Yeah,
Because you had
that could've
Shabbat.
that could have been somebody else. So
That
yeah,
could have been somebody
I mean,
else.
there's all kinds of possibilities.
Interesting. T-Boz Swayman never proved himself. He was a part-time goalie. Well, that is true. He's still struggling with that playing 75% thing, which he did last year too. Heat Grim. Sway dives into his money bin like Scrooge McDuck.
Yes, he does.
He does. He lays in it, doesn't he? Though he lays in it in his
And
bathrobe.
Playing a little De La Soul in the background.
His bathrobe has like Sway on the lapel there.
Yeah,
Sway.
Yeah. Me, myself, and Sway.
Me, yeah. Also, is Lohrei a Sweeney Neely thing? Lohrei needs to be on the first line. Lohrei can't get sent down. They expect Lohrei to be our Bouchard. Sweeney let Sturm control the lineup Tuesday. I think absolutely that Lohrei is a Sweeney thing because he has to show some proof that he could draft somebody. Like he drafted Lohrei as a second round pick, and then there was a lot of hype about him, and he was starting to really progress. They're gonna squeeze the life out of that kid until they can't do it anymore. Like he can't give up on the dude because Sweeney needs that thing to pan out. He needs Lohrei to pan out, and he needs Poitras to pan out. Like he needs those guys because he's not drafted well at all. So there you go. Craig will leave. I am dreaming of future Bruins head coach Brad Marchand. I'll tell you what, I don't know why anybody like Marchand or Bergeron or Chara would ever want to fight. I don't know why Patrick Waugh wants to fucking coach in that league. I never got that. Like I've never gotten it.
Bergeron doesn't want to.
Like you've made a lot of money. Like why would you want to keep traveling and coaching? You can't control what happens, the score, you can't do anything like that. Like why would you want to fucking coach? Like,
no, Bergeron doesn't want to. Bergeron looked like he was having a grand old time last night with Razor and Tuukka on that.
He was,
interviews on Nesson, just like kicking back with the boys, shooting the shit. Like, sure he's having some beers, like taking his kids to school, whatever. Like he's living the life, and he should.
He would have been part of something already.
He put fucking everything on the line for the Bruins when he was in this quarter, and he deserves to just kick back and relax and watch this team suck. Up close and personal. Speaking of coaching, Brad Marchand, this is under terrible circumstances, but kind of a cool story. Brad Marchand, I don't know if everybody knows this, took a leave of absence from the Florida Panthers. One of his childhood friends and trainers, his daughter died of cancer. So he took a leave of absence and flew back home to Nova Scotia to coach the U18 team that his friend was coaching, so his friend could be with his family to mourn the loss of his daughter. So Andrew Bugnarchuk, who played with the Providence Bruins for a bit too, and I think since played overseas or whatever, came back as well. So kudos to Marchand, kind of a really cool thing to do to kind of honor his buddy and his buddy's family and his daughter in a real tough time. So that was pretty cool. Marchand's, everybody hates the guy, but off the ice might be one of the best guys you'd ever meet. So
he's really sort of shown that in the last few years. Like they just thought he was a little, pissant, and he wasn't a great guy, but he's actually, by all accounts, like so great off the ice.
Mm-hmm.
That is a cool story. Adrian said, who would be a goalie that could handle this defensive poop show? Legit question, because I don't know. It's a good question, Adrian.
It is a good question.
It is a good question. I mean, again, part of it is that defensively and turnover wise and all that, there's issues.
I don't know if there's a goal. Yeah, I don't know if there's a goalie in the league that would have really good numbers behind this defense.
Yeah,
I really don't. There's a lot of goalies around the league that are, elite type goalies that aren't having the best years. So I don't know if there's really any defense or any goalie that can handle a defense like this, honestly.
Now Pat's going to the game tomorrow. Wish me luck tomorrow. If we lose, the fire Sweeney chance must begin.
Yes,
Have
we're
a
counting on you.
blast.
We're counting on
Yes.
you for that.
Get
Not
that
Pat.
thing going. Yeah, bring your Bruins Benders banner and wave it around. I'm in the most sacred place in Tokyo. Fuck off, Sweeney. Yeah,
That's
yeah, right in front of a temple. Yeah,
Yeah. Most
That
sacred
is-
temple in Japan.
that
in
is.
Tokyo. And
Tell you what, Benders
Sweeney
fans
is
taking
fuck
over the
off.
world.
and says sorry, John. We should have sorry, John bumper stickers that people can just plaster
should.
everywhere.
We should just join the crew.
Yeah.
Nat Pat says Swayman lost us. We cheered him off the ice when we lost in the playoffs in round 2. Correct. The year later, he tried to reset the goalie market and told us he kept a list of complaints. What a nutter! He is a nut. He's a nut.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
He is a nut.
T-Boss says I will never respect Swayman, cup or not. I think a lot of people might feel that way.
I think a lot of people do. They feel that way, T-Boss. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people do. And
Yeah.
you're probably looking at a couple of them right now. And I
Yeah,
think
sure.
in order, I'll tell you, in order for him to win me back, it would have to be a cup. It would
Yeah.
have to be a cup.
And it would have to be like a Tim Thomas, like
I want to
performance.
see them. I want to see
Yeah.
them win one. So I'm rooting for that thing
Mhm.
because maybe not necessarily him, but I'm rooting for the Bruins to win it. And I wouldn't mind if they traded him, honestly, because
and I think
a lot of respect for him too, because I don't like the way he handled any of that. I really didn't. I think he should just have shut his mouth and made saves. And
I honestly think he's
about
not going to be here for that whole contract.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
I don't think he sees that to the end. T-Boz, Sway does not talk, walk, or play like a Bruin, never will. Zadorov laughing at him in that interview when he was asked about Sway wanting to get into that goalie fight. Yeah, I mean, I think Zadorov wants to beat the piss out of like half the team. I think he's a lunatic, and I think he doesn't like losing.
Yeah.
And I don't think he likes bullshit. I think he's
My kind of guy.
Yeah, me too. Shaz Diet, this team has never played man on man, and to think they'll get it just right away is stupid. And why is Leach still here? I don't know. I mean, you have your defensive coach is Leach, and the guy comes in and completely changes the system. And now Leach has to probably learn it too. Like, I don't know. It's just a bunch of hanger-oners.
Yeah, it's disjointed bullshit is what it is.
Mhm. It is. And a lucky charm. Hopefully they win these next home games to give them more momentum and confidence on the road. I'm not even surprised they lost to Ottawa. I'm not either. I mean, Ottawa's the type of team that they would have troubles with. Even in the record-setting year a couple of years ago, Ottawa dusted them one night, like 7-4 or 5, whatever it was. Like just lit them up early on in the season. I remember that well. They have good forwards, good young forwards,
They're
dynamic.
kind of lucky too that they're not facing Brady Tkachuk. I think he's out like a month, and the Bruins play Ottawa like 3 times in the month that Tkachuk is out.
Yeah, they got
and
lucky.
Might get
And
him.
and then
once
7-1.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're kind of lucky in that regard. And look, Ottawa still might beat them all 3 games. They're just better than you are, plain and simple. So
They are.
we'll see
We
how
said that going into the year. You said
we
all
did.
these forward groups are better.
I mean, it's true.
And it's true. All right. So let's see. Next game is tomorrow night. Buffalo at home.
Mhm.
What is your prediction on this? I think we talked about it already, but you like Buffalo.
I
right?
do like Buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I said 5-2 for Jesus, who they just beat?
Islanders.
I said 5-2 Islanders, so I'm saying
Mhm.
5-2 Buffalo, and I'm hoping that the result is reversed again and the Bruins win 5-2. But I think it will be Buffalo.
All right. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for hanging out with us again tonight. It's going to be 4 nights in a row tomorrow night. How's that, huh?
Send in some more videos.
Yeah, more videos. Let's get some videos
Bruins
every
Benders
episode.
at gmail.com.
Yes. Send us a video. Thanks to Dan and Paige for
Yeah.
checking in from Tokyo, Japan. Not getting arrested for swearing in English.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your holiday, Dan.
Jesus fucking Christ. Maddie Sweeney dropping the kids' names too.
Yeah, look at 'em.
Yeah, it's all fam here. You know what I mean?
Look, we really are a family. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
We really are.
we are. We mean it. Yeah,
We
mean
do
it.
mean it.
Yeah.
I mean, Screw
Yeah.
the Bruins, but we are family here.
Absolutely. You know what else we mean? We mean, as always, go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.